Welcome inside the LSN Broadcast Center. I am Tom Eschen. This is Lacrosse Now. We're getting you caught up on everything going on in the world of lacrosse, including some big roster moves in the PLL, a conversation with Team USA women's assistant and Stony Brook women's head coach Joe Spallina, and more. But we start with college lacrosse. Last week, one of the biggest names in the sport, Cornell's Jeff Teague, announced that he would be returning to the Big Red for the 2021 season. That came after a lot of uncertainty about how Ivy League schools would be handling the NCAA-approved extra year of eligibility. That led Cornell to led Cornell to a perfect 5-0 record in the truncated 2020 season, including a dramatic 18-17 win over then number 2 Penn State in what turned out to be the last game of the year. Teat had posted 12 goals and 15 assists in just 5 games. Already one of the best ever to wear a Big Red uniform, Teat will have a chance now to add to his career numbers. He's third all-time in both points as well as assists at the school. He'll have a shot at catching Rob Pennell in both categories should there be a full 2021 season. Here's Travis Eldridge with more.
So Jeff Teague joins us now. Jeff, I just got to start off, walk me through the process and all the different things you went through in finding out that you have a chance to go back and play one more year at Cornell.
Yeah, it was definitely a long process. I mean, I knew right away that I wanted to go back, but I knew that it wasn't going to, happen over a week. So, I let them know I wanted to go back, and then from there, it was just kind of like a 3-month process of, filling out different paperwork and talking to the different people and trying to figure out a way to make this work and, keep it within our bubble. So,
I mean, how do you ultimately figure out the way to make it work? And then how do you figure out that I'm not going to be there in the fall and what that will be like, and then rejoining the team once the second semester gets underway, hopefully sometime in January for the spring?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that do a lot of work behind the scenes, and to be honest, I can't even attest how much work they do. They did a lot of work behind the scenes. That they just gave me a little bit of information and what I was supposed to do on my end. So that's what I followed through with. And then, going back in the spring, I was just kind of looking for any way that I can go back. So if that was the only way, then that was the only way. So if I were able to go back in the fall, that would have been awesome too. But unfortunately, that was the only way I could go back.
So basically, tell me where to sign and what I got to do to get back, right?
Exactly.
How important was it for you to have a chance to go back? Because we talk with all these guys that are in your situation, and the season abruptly ends. You guys are ranked number 2 in the country, and there's no closure. How important was it for you to have a chance to go back and try to bring some closure to your college career and hopefully maybe make one more run?
Yeah, very important. I mean, Cornell's such a special place, and anybody who's been there or interacted with anybody kind of can feel that. So, I mean, just being able to go back and finishing off, 4 years of, hard work that we put in, and basically it's been a huge process over those 4 years. It's something that, means a lot to us, and, we're grateful that we're able to go back.
You obviously, whenever you're done college, you're going to have an opportunity to play professional lacrosse, indoor, outdoor, whatever league you really want. Was there any question in your mind about maybe the possibility of playing professional lacrosse and being ready to go, or was it always any way I can get back, I want to be back there?
I mean, yeah, it was definitely eye-opening, but from my perspective, it was as long as that window to Cornell to go back was open, then I was just going to stick with that for now. And then, if that closed for some reason, then I could figure out, what was happening later. But, for me, the whole time was being able to go back.
So you guys have had a lot go on this offseason already at Cornell. We'll get to that, but I just want you to take me back to the end of the season. You guys beat Penn State in one of the most dramatic games we've seen in a couple of years. There's an incredible finish. You rise to number 2 in the country. How hard was it to say goodbye to your teammates and have this season cut short, and what your reaction was?
Yeah, for us, it was definitely very tough. I mean, we were one of the first teams to find out that our season got canceled. We also didn't know the magnitude of how severe COVID was at that point, so it was definitely a little bit more, salt to the wound. And then, as time went on and we realized, how important this virus was, we kind of got a little bit of closure that, it happens, it's okay, and we'll do whatever it takes to try to find our way back. But at the same time, it definitely sucked to put in a lot of hard work over 4 years to just kind of abruptly come to an ending. But that last game was definitely extremely fun to be a part of, and kind of a cherry on top to win on our last game. But it was definitely fun.
You guys lose some seniors who aren't in the same situation as you are in terms of coming back for one more run at this, but you have plenty of younger guys, whether they're sophomores, juniors, some freshmen from this past year that made big steps, were big contributors. What team do you see coming back, and where do you see yourself being in terms of the national landscape?
Definitely try to use some of the momentum and pieces that we had last year to kind of push ourselves to start the year next year. But at the same time, it's a fresh start for us. We're a new team with a new class coming in, and we're going to need to find our identity throughout the year. That starts in the fall with how we spend our time with Coach Halley, who's the most important piece to our program. And I think just over the course of that fall and the whole spring, we're going to need to find our identity and use that momentum that we've generated over the years to kind of fuel us. And then at the end of the year, at the end of May, we'll see what we've created.
You guys obviously also have a new coach at the helm. What was your reaction when Peter Millman, when you found out he was going to Hopkins?
That kind of whole situation was just kind of felt like there's a whole bunch of roadblocks in front of us with our season ending, and then stuff's happening inside the program, and then it was just kind of a snowball effect of that stuff happening. And then Coach Millie, said he wasn't going to come back and he was moving on, and then Coach Buse and Coach Stevens told us they were going to be leading this program, which was kind of like a breath of fresh air for us, something to kind of turn the tide. And we were extremely excited to have those guys lead us, and kind of got back on the right track and took a step forward for us.
I mean, obviously, Peter Milliman's one of the reasons probably you end up at Cornell. He leaves. How important was it to your decision that it's Connor Busick and Jordan Stevens that are leading this program, as opposed to maybe somebody else you wouldn't have been familiar with?
I think it was extremely important. I mean, those guys have lived Cornell lacrosse for the past 8-9 years. So to have those guys who come in and just continue what they've learned and continue to teach us is extremely important. They care so much about the program that they'll do whatever it takes to help this program move forward and help this team succeed. So it was extremely important for us, and we were all excited, and it was something that we were looking forward to.
Do you think you come back if it's somebody from outside the program?
I'm not too sure. Probably, absolutely. I think those guys on the inside of that locker room are something that helped me through a lot of stuff in my last 4 years, and those players inside that locker room and the people surrounded are so supportive that it doesn't really matter what's going on with smaller pieces of the program. That it's a bigger picture. And I remember Coach Buse saying in one of his interviews that it's not just one person or piece of this program. It's multiple layers and stuff like that. So I think that's an extremely important factor that kind of came to my mind.
Obviously, I've heard so much about that Cornell culture, and I've had a chance to be around it at different times, and it's a special one. Obviously, you have your own kind of little piece of that culture and the tradition here as you're trying to come back and finish things out in your college career. What's the legacy you hope to leave on the greater culture and program tradition there at Cornell?
I mean, that program is definitely built on a lot of legends and a lot of good people. So for me, it's just continuing to be the best version of myself and be a great teammate to help lead this team. I think guys like George Varady and Eamon that have done that did such a great job of leading by example and showing how much they care for the teammates, and that's something that I know myself and the rest of the program and my classmates as well try to do the same thing.
Well, Jeff, I think it goes without saying, we're really excited to see you back in the college game next year. We appreciate the time. Stay safe, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you very much.
Teat is one of a number of big names returning instead of transferring for the extra season next year. Also, Yale's face-off star T.D. Erlin. You can check out our interview with him about that decision on demand right now here on LSN. Syracuse getting a host of top players back, including Jamie Trimboli, Peter Dirth, goalie Drake Porter, and Duke's All-American defenseman J.T. Giles Harris. A bit of a surprise. He had reportedly planned to use his 5th year of athletic eligibility to play college football next year, but that was before the pandemic shut down the lacrosse season. Now, U.S. Lacrosse Magazine reports Giles Harris is expected to return to just the Duke lacrosse program next season. He was an all-state cornerback at Jersey Power St. Joseph's Regional. His brother Joe is entering his second NFL season as linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars.